start recording, start the lesson. Good morning. All right. So for today, we're doing part C. It's multiply and divide, improper fraction, and mixed numbers. We know multiply and divide. What are improper fractions? Improper fractions are referring to a fraction where the number on the top is heavier or bigger. Say you have 15 over 7, that would be improper fraction. What are mixed numbers? Okay, whenever you have improper fraction, you can turn them into mixed numbers. How do you do that specifically? Take 15, divide by 7, goes into twice, 14, 1 left. 2 and 1 over 7 is your mixed fraction. Okay, but when I ask you to take one and times the other, there are some procedures that you have to follow. So, first of all, what is 2 and 1 over 7? Question, okay? Is 2 and 1 over 7, does this equal to 2 plus 1 over 7? Or does this equal to 2 times 1 over 7? Raise your hand if you go for the first one. Is this 2 plus 1 over 7?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, raise your hand if you think it's 2 times 1 over 7. All right, so it's going to be 2 plus 1 over 7. What is this number going to be in decimal? Is this going to be 2 point something? Yes. How do you figure out the something? Yeah, you take 1 divided by 7, whatever comes up to be, right? So this will be it doesn't fit in, so 0.1s, and then 30, 28, something, right? So 0.1414 something. Good. Okay, so that's how you turn an improper into a mixed number into a fraction. The fraction part is not our focus here.
Decimal.
The decimal, sorry. The decimal is not our focus, the fraction is. Right, so in this case, we're going to learn if we have, say, two mixed numbers, how do we multiply them? And what does that, how do we draw it, right? So we're going to do the drawing part and then do the mechanic part. Say if I have 2.5 times by 1 and 1/4, okay? How would I do this? So notice that this part means 2 plus a half times by this part means 1 plus a quarter. I'm basically doing that, right? If you're in grade 9 or grade 10, you will learn how to FOIL. But as a picture, guys, please. Okay. I'm going to put this size longer. I'm going to call this 2.5, okay? So I'm going to call this 2, and we're going to call this half. Good? Over this side, I'm going to call it 1 1/4. So I'm going to say, maybe that's my 1. Oopsie. That would be bigger. So I'm going to call this 1/4. I'm going to call that 1. So over this side is 1 1/4. Over this side is 2.5. It doesn't matter which one goes to where. Okay. Now, if you want to figure out the answer of which, you basically have 4 areas. Over here is the intersection of 1 and 2. Do you see that? Okay. This will be 2 times 1. Over this block will be 2 times 1/4. Over this box on the top is what? 1 times a half. Over this box in the bottom, half times 1/4. All right. If you were to figure out all of them and then add them together, that's going to be the answer of it. Okay. There are different ways to do this. Could be simpler, but this is the graph part. Okay. So in this case, I'm gonna multiply them out together and then add them. All right. So this is gonna be 2 plus 2 times, so I'm going to say 2 over 4, okay? You can see this as 2 over 4, hopefully. Yes? Plus, on the top, this is 1 times 1/2. Plus, this, we're going to do this in our head. This is going to be what? 1 over 8. 1 over 8. And if you were to add all of this together, you would have your answer. Okay, so we notice that this is 1 over 2. Okay, so I have 2 here, 2 of 1/2, so that's another 1. So that will be 3 1/8. That's how you solve it with graph. Okay? Now, again, this is not the most efficient way to solve things, I admit. I'm going to show you an efficient way without a graph. So again, in the test, it's going to ask you how to do this with graph. Make sure you can do this. Okay? How do you do it without graph? I'll show you without graph. 2.5 times 1 1/4. You guys ready? Okay? If you are multiplying improper fraction without a graph, I would turn it to, I would turn mixed fractions to improper fraction. Okay? Well, how do you turn it to improper fraction? I'm gonna do it on the first one. So 2 1/4. You're gonna turn this into something plus a half. Okay? Sorry, so 2.5. I have a half there. What is 2 in fractions with denominator being 2? Would be 4/2, correct? 4/2. So altogether it's 5/2. Make sense? Another way that you can do this is take 2 times by 2, that gives you 4 plus 1. That will be 5 on the top. Okay, because this 2 is 2 whole things of the fraction of 2's. So that would be 4 parts plus 1 5 parts. You can also see it that way. 5 parts of halves times, this would be 4 parts in denominator 4, plus 1 is 5 as well. Okay. If I turn them into improper, you know what to do, right? We learned this last time. It would be just fraction times fraction, top times top, bottom times bottom. There's nothing to reduce, so I could just times them out. 25, 8. Now I have improper fraction. I can turn this to proper fraction. Again, 25 divided by 8, go into 3 times, 24, remainder 1, 3 and 1/8. Notice I get the same answer. Okay, so you can either use the diagram, multiply them out, add them together, or you can turn both mixed number into improper fraction, multiply the top, multiply the bottom. If you need to simplify at this stage or at this stage, and then you got your final answer. All good? So that's multiplication part. Again, we'll do a word question, or okay. Let's do multiply improper fraction, right? So say if I have a/3 times by maybe 2 and 5, 6. Okay, you could do this with drawing, no problem. With drawing, it's gonna look like this. Okay, over here, this is not a mixed number, so I'm just gonna say a/3, or I can turn it to mixed number. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep it as fraction. It works too. And at the bottom, I can say that's 2, that's 5/6. Okay, and I can just multiply them out. So this will be 2 times 8/3, 5/6 times 8/3. That works as well. And then I can say, hey, this is gonna be 2 times 8, 16/3, plus over here, I want to simplify this. So this is gonna be 2 going to 6, sorry. 3 times 2 going to 8, 4 times. On the top, it's going to be 20, and the bottom, it's going to be 9. Okay? So far, so good? That's right, right? All right. And if I'm going to add fractions, I need the denominators to be the same. Therefore, I'm going to change them to denominator 9. This is already 9. And in this case, I gotta say, what's 3 times of 16? 48, right? Is that correct? Yeah? This would be 68/9. 68/9. Can I reduce this? 3 is my only choice, but the 3 going to 68? 6 plus 8 is 14. No, it doesn't go. Okay, and then I just have to change this to a proper, to a mixed number. 6 over 68 divided by 9. 7 times, I got 5 left. This will be 7, and 5 over 9 will be my final answer. Okay, so you can either do it this way, or you can turn both into improper. It would be 8 over 3 times by, this will be 12 over 6 plus 5, be 17 over 6. And then you just multiply them out. Got 9 at the bottom. Okay, so we've got 17 times by 8. Did I make some mistake here?
The bottom one you reduced it by 3, right?
The bottom one.
No, I mean like a 6 divided by 2. Is that why you got 9 down there?
Oh, sorry about that.
Or
Yeah, Mr. Chen is not thinking. I'm not supposed to add them, right? Say, hey, this is wrong. Okay, I'm supposed to multiply them. At the bottom should be 18. There we go. And on the top, $136. So I could do this, but notice that I forgot to reduce. That's why I get a different base. Right, so before I do this, I'm not going to go that route. Notice that 6 and 8 could be reduced. Going to bottom 3 times, 4 times here. There we go. Oh, one misstep. Okay, so 4 times of 17. 17 times 4. 68. Now there we go. So I have 68 over 9. This should be 7 and 5, 9. All right. Good thing I caught the mistake. Okay, if this seems to be a little bit fast, here's the video. Go back to it. All right, a quick question before we move to the division part, which is gonna take no time. All right, in Eric's apartment, the living room is 1 3/4 times as long and 2 1/2 wide as the den. All right, so I'm gonna call this den, and we have this. I'm gonna call this width and height. We don't know the measurement, and we have his living room, which is larger by the description, times long and wide. Oh, we're gonna call this long. We're gonna stick to the same word, wide and long. Okay, so long over this side. It's gonna be 1 3/4 as 3/4 times of that measurement, and 2 1/2 times of width of that measurement. Okay, it's important to draw it out. Eric is buying the same type of carpet for both rooms. How many times as much would cost the carpet compared to the living room? Right, so we don't know how much it costs, but how many times, right? So we know we are looking for the area basically. So how much is this area compared to that area? Right, so the area of den, area over here would be width times or wide times long, right? The area here would be what? 1 3/4 times 2 1/2. I'm gonna turn this into mixed number first. right? So this would be 4 parts and 3 parts would be 7 parts. This would be 4 parts and 1 part would be 5 parts. And could I simplify this? No. Be 8 and what? 35. Is that correct? Catch my mistake, you get bonus point. All right. So I can change this to improper. To mixed number. 35 over 8. How many times does this go? 3, 4, 4. Okay, so 4 and 3, 8. What is that number? If this area is this, if this area for the den is width times long, the area of this guy would be 4 and 3, 8 of width times long. It's going to be bigger, right? And that will be the answer. Answer, the what? Living room is 4 and 3/8 of the area of the den. It's gonna be your answer. Okay, for divide. If I'm doing the same question but I will be dividing instead, what would I do? If I give you 7 over 8, divide by 1 over 4, okay, we got to multiply the reciprocal. Can anyone walk on your hand? Can anyone walk on your hand? Yeah, like walk on your hand. Anyone? Anyone try to walk on your hand? Yes? I think it's pretty fun. You're gonna get dizzy though. But anyways, reciprocal is it would be like I'm gonna let that 1/4 walk on its hand. Okay, so it's gonna be like that. All right, see 1/4 is walk on its hand. So that will be the reciprocal of 1/4, and I'll turn that symbol into multiplication. 7 over 8. So that's how we do it. Okay, so this equation, this statement is equivalent to this statement. When you divide 1/4, it's equivalent of times its reciprocal. Let it walk on its hand, okay? And then you may solve the answer. Simplify things first. 7 over 2 is your answer. 7 over 2, it's gonna be 3 and 1 over 2. All good? All good? If you have a mixed number in the mix, what kind of sentence is that? 1 and 2 over 3, divide by half. In this case, you're going to turn into what? Let me do it up and down. It's easier that way. Okay. This would be 3 full parts and 2 fraction parts. Be 5 over 3. Divide by half would be equivalent of, let's get it to walk on its hand. Okay, would be 10 over 3 or 3 and 1/3. Almost gave out a bonus point. Oh, what if you have mixed number on the other side? If you have mixed number on the other side, say for instance, if you have 1 over 5 divide by 1 and 2 over 3, what do you do then? How do you get this mixed number to walk on its hand? Well, you turn into improper first. Sorry. So this guy would be equivalent of, that would be 3 full parts plus 2 fraction parts, would be 5 over 3, and therefore make that guy walk on its hand would be 5 on the bottom and 3 on the top. This will be multiplied. 5 and 5 times 2, 25. 1 and 3 times 2, 3. That's my final answer. All good? Okay. I will not go over to, sure, let's do this word question. Why not? Why not? Okay, word question for divide improper fraction and mixed number. Is this big enough? I have incandescent light bulb, would be this guy. That's the old style. That uses a lot times of energy. 4.5 times as the compact fluorescent light, CFL. To produce the same amount of light, what fraction of energy does this light bulb use? I'm not sure I understand the question. Okay, again, this guy uses more energy than this one to produce the same amount of light. What fraction of energy used by this light bulb Oh, what fraction? Oh, I see what it meant. All right, so this is to say that this guy uses more. If here I use 1 unit of light, over here I will be using 4.5 unit of light. Unit. We don't know what the unit is. Okay, that's the statement. But what this question is asking, if this guy uses 1, what does that use? Does that make sense to you? Okay, if that guy uses 1 unit of energy, that's going to be a fraction, right? So that would be, let's call that 1, divide by 4.5. That's what it's asking, okay? What is that in fraction? It would be 1/1 times by, I have a full part, if it's a half part, and plus 1 would be 9/2, and this would be 9/, oh, wait a minute, this should still be divide. No one caught the mistake, come on, man. 1/1 times by 2/9, it would be 2/9. That will be your answer, okay? So if it's 4.5 times this way, going the other way around, if that uses 1 unit of energy, this guy is going to use 2/9 parts, okay? I understand that the word question could be confusing. You got to read it a couple of times, and then hopefully you get it. All right, I'll end the lesson here, and let's go on to the questions.